Hey everyone, for those of you that have joined, we'll give a few minutes to get started, so hang tight. Thanks. See some folks trickling in. If you've just joined, we're allowing a few minutes for folks to continue to take their places, so hang tight. We'll get started in just a minute. Again, if you've just joined, we're allowing a little bit more time, but we will get started shortly. Hey, I think we can go ahead and get started. It looks like the slides went one advance forward. If we could go back to the title slide. There we go. Maybe it's on a timer. Okay, let's go ahead and jump in. Hi, everyone. My name is Axel Pearson, coming to you live from Park City, Utah. Welcome to the Integrated Lighting Campaign's Recognition Opportunities for Supporters webinar. Thank you to the many of you that have already joined as supporters of the ILC and are here to learn how to help and how to get the most out of the ILC. And for those of you that have not yet joined, I hope this presentation and what we talk about today will help answer any questions that you may have in order to join and provide support for the campaign. So let's jump in. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, I'm Axel Pearson. I'm a project manager at Pacific Northwest National Laboratory. I'll be your presenter today. You will hear mostly my voice, but I assure you that there is a dedicated team of lighting professionals working together to help make this year of the campaign a success. I've got some colleagues with me, Sergey Gorbachev and Michael Meyer. They're with me today behind the scenes. They're monitoring your questions and comments that may come in during the webinar. So feel free to send them whatever comes into your mind. They are there to help. And we've also left some time at the end for Q&A and also an opportunity for discussion. And that, again, will be at the end of the webinar. So when that rolls around, we'll enable the ability to unmute yourself for an interactive discussion. So also, if you have any technical difficulties, send them in the chat as well, and someone will definitely be there to help you. Last but not least, by way of introduction, some of our ILC organizers are here with us today, and they will talk a little bit about their organizations and how they align with the campaign. I will introduce each of them in a moment, but before we get there, I have some announcements. So next slide, please. So yes, we have some upcoming events that you might be interested in if you're here with us today. I will send these slides out after the webinar, so you'll be able to click on all of these links here to register and learn more. So first up, we have an ILC webinar coming up just like this one that is focused on opportunities for supporters. The next one will be geared up more towards participants. And so that's on February 24th. Next, NAMCO, who is one of our organizing committee members that you'll hear from in a few minutes, is holding their spring seminar in early March, and that will be in person in Florida. There are also a couple webinars focused on the building envelope campaign of the Better Buildings program, which is just like the ILC, but as the name sounds, focused on the building envelope. So those, there's already been one. There was 2 more, March 2nd and April 6th. So if you're interested in the building envelope, go ahead and check those out. We also have a joint webinar with the Better Buildings plug loads team on system integration and improving plug load management, enabling whole building controls and increased energy savings. So you can join the team for that. As one is how we learn how the Minnesota Department of Transportation Cedar Avenue truck station accomplished a plug load controls integration with occupancy sensors, and how the University of California, San Diego is integrating plug load controls with their building management systems, facilities information management system, and occupancy data system. That sounds nice. Finally, the Better Buildings, Better Plant Summit will be held in May this year. The summit provides an opportunity for professionals to explore emerging technologies and share innovative strategies in energy efficiency, decarbonization, and water and waste reduction. Attendees take part in an interactive session with industry experts and market leaders, as well as multiple opportunities to network with peers. So that will take place March 17th to the 19th, 2022, also in person in Washington, DC. Okay, next slide, please. All right, with the introductions and announcements out of the way, let's cover some campaign basics. The Better Buildings technology campaigns are collaborative platforms designed to help speed the adoption of promising energy savings, energy efficient technologies through providing resources helpful to decision makers, also technical assistance, recognition of exemplary projects like the ILC does, those projects that are leading the way. And so in 2019, participants of several campaigns reported energy savings totaling more than $250 million, resulting from the adoption of some energy savings technologies. Currently, there are 2 active campaigns. One I mentioned briefly, the Building Envelope campaign, which you can think of as kind of a sister campaign to the Integrated Lighting campaign. You can learn more on their website by emailing envelopecampaign@ornl.gov. However, as I'm sure you're aware, today's topic is on the Integrated Lighting campaign. So let's get into it. Next slide, please. We have some wonderful folks working with us on the campaign who we call organizers. They are our primary planning and management team partners. They help provide guidance to the ILC. They support our outreach efforts, and they have alignment with and interest in our campaign. So they are the Better Buildings Initiative of the US Department of Energy, my good friends over at the Design Lights Consortium, the United States General Service Administration, the Illuminating Engineering Society, or IES, the International Facilities Management Association, or IFMA, the Lighting Controls Association, and the International Association of Lighting Management Companies, also known as NAMCO. So we really appreciate your support. Some of them are here with us today to introduce their organization and the value that ILC brings to their organization, their members, their other and other folks interested in their efforts. So first up, next slide, I would like to introduce Cedar Blazik. She's the program analyst at the US Department of Energy, providing the DOE and Better Buildings perspective on the ILC. So Cedar, I'll let you take it away.
Thanks so much, Axel. And Dana, you can go to the next slide. The United States Department of Energy is proud to be a sponsor and a co-organizer for the Integrated Lighting campaign. A little bit about the office that I work in, the Building Technologies office. We invest in energy efficiency and other related technologies to make both homes and buildings more affordable, more comfortable, more sustainable, and help the US become more secure and prosperous. We do this through pre-competitive early stage investment in R&D. We do this through technology validation, demonstration, and market integration. We also do this through our codes for whole building and our standards for specific pieces of equipment, as well as setting test procedures and regulations. The integrated lighting campaign falls squarely in that middle section where we're really looking to bring the best emerging technologies to the market. Next slide. I'd like to talk about the Better Buildings Initiative, which sort of houses the integrated lighting campaign. So the Better Buildings Initiative is a broad initiative across the U.S. Department of Energy to highlight market leaders and amplify lessons learned to help our buildings, plants, local governments, homes achieve their energy, carbon, waste, and water goals. We do this by highlighting market leaders who want to partner with us voluntarily. We do this through providing better information and resources, expanding our energy efficiency workforce, and also highlighting and developing innovative and emerging technologies. So our Better Building Technologies campaigns really contribute to the idea that these new technologies and new ideas are really key to building a stronger economy in the United States. Next slide. So some results of the Better Buildings program to date. Again, this is a voluntary, completely free public-private partnership program. We partner with organizations who want to set energy or carbon goals through the Better Buildings Challenge and the Better Climate Challenge. We partner with organizations such as yourselves, as well as building owners and operators who want to focus on a specific technology area, including integrated lighting. To date, we've saved 1.8 quadrillion BTUs, $11 billion across all of our partnerships. And integrated lighting is going to be key to really pushing this much further. Less than 1% of lighting systems in the US are capable of communicating with other building systems right now, but we know that connected lighting can enable an additional cumulative 16 quadrillion BTUs of energy savings through 2035, which is a potential $890 billion in avoided energy costs. So it's a big market. We really invite you as supporters to come help support this campaign, to spread the word and to get folks excited about and investing in integrated lighting solutions. I will also just highlight a big focus for the Department of Energy is energy justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we strongly support the efforts of the ILC to recognize supporters like yourselves who are working on projects and making impact in this really important area. And with that, I'll hand it back to Axel. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Cedar. Next up, I'd like to introduce Doreen Manichia, the Director of Market Strategy and Development with the Design Lights Consortium. She will provide an overview of the DLC and how its efforts align with the ILC. Doreen, take it away.
Thank you, Axel, and hello, everybody. Happy to be here. Let's start with the next slide, please. I'm guessing that a lot of you out there may have heard of the Design Lights Consortium, so I'll just take a few minutes to kind of give you a brief overview and talk a little bit about the synergies, if you will, between the integrated lighting campaign. Whoops, one slide up, please. And the DLC. Thank you. As a nonprofit, the DLC is committed to improving energy efficiency for commercial lighting throughout North America and to making a positive impact on climate change worldwide for the better. It's our goal to provide a trusted, impartial assessment of the industry's highest performing lighting products and systems to boost consumer trust and to increase adoption of technologies that save the most energy. We currently have 3 qualified product lists, also called QPLs, and these include solid state lighting luminaires, horticulture luminaires, and network lighting controls. Last December, we released a policy addressing luminaire performance to minimize light pollution and light trespass. This policy is fondly referred to as LUNA. So as we move forward with accepting applications for LUNA, luminaires that are qualified to that policy will receive a specific LUNA designation and will be included as part of the overall list within the SSL luminaire list. The QPLs often serve as product selection tools for practitioners who are working on projects that may be eligible for utility incentives. Finally, our DLC technical requirements are also referenced from a variety of industry specifications and performance documents. The DOE low carbon strategy toolkits point to the DLC QPLs as resources for helping to achieve beyond code savings on the pathway to net zero energy. Similarly, the GSA's P100 spec references the DLC as well as the FEMP procurement requirements. Next slide, please. Thank you. The DLC and the Integrated Lighting Campaign have some common goals, especially specific to interoperability and networking controls inside buildings. The Integrated Lighting Campaign case studies that are gathered and also the projects that are receiving recognition, they help to inform our stakeholders and our membership on new technologies and the relative successes and how they're performing in actual applications. So they're very helpful to our customers and our stakeholders. Also, I just want to add that 4 of our utility member efficiency programs were recognized by the Integrated Lighting Campaign in 2021. So if you're interested in seeing more information and exploring some of the resources and tools that we have on our website, the links are at the bottom of the slide. There are multiple research reports there, a lot with respect to energy savings from network controls, savings specific to luminaire level lighting controls, as well as interoperability with network controls. We also have a report on CNI lifetime and peak demand analysis that you might find helpful and informative too. So when you have some time, feel free to click on the links. Hopefully they'll be active within the handout, and come visit us and check out the synergies between us and the Integrated Lighting Campaign. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Doreen. Next up, Eric Ennen is a facilities manager at the Center for Energy and Environment, and he will tell us a bit about NAMCO.
Thank you for the introduction, Axel. Hello and welcome, everyone. The International Association of Lighting Management Companies was started back in 1953. Our organization is made up of electrical contractors, ESCOs, or energy service companies, manufacturers, service providers, and professional members. NAMCO's mission is to raise the professional level of its members and the performance of lighting systems by providing education, lighting certifications, and networking opportunities for the lighting industry. As an organizer for the Integrated Lighting Campaign, NAMCO actively supports the ILC goals throughout our membership, industry trade shows, as well as NAMCO's spring seminar and fall annual conference. Lighting retrofits, advanced controls, and integration is at the core of NAMCO members' day-to-day work. With technology advancing at an ever-increasing pace, customer awareness and demand for more efficient buildings, systems, and promoting the ILC to recognize the products and solutions installed is a win-win for everyone. With that, that will wrap it up for me. Thank you for your attendance today.
Thank you, Eric. Right, last but not least, Craig DeLuey from the Lighting Controls Association has prepared a couple slides and also gave me some talking points to speak to. So I will speak to the LCA on his behalf. Next slide. The Lighting Controls Association is a council of the National Electric Manufacturers Association, or NEMA. It was formed to educate the public about lighting control trends, technology, and applications. Their website features videos, news, products, resources, articles, and award-winning projects featuring lighting controls. A major offering is Education Express, an extensive series of online courses covering topics ranging from technology to energy codes to design practices and commissioning. These courses are registered or recognized by major organizations and foundational to achieving 2 lighting control certifications offered by organization partners. The world of lighting control is just a click away at lightingcontrolsassociation.org. Next slide. The Lighting Controls Association is proud to support the Integrated Lighting Campaign. Recognizing excellence is a path to more useful and lower risk technological change. It provides confidence in tackling more complex projects, provides inspiration and solutions for future projects, and thereby helps practitioners become more skilled and competitive. As buildings become more controlled with associated benefits, recognizing leading projects is foundational for facilitating this fast-moving trend. Great. Thank you, Lighting Controls Association, for your support, and thank you to everyone else of our organizers for your support as well. Let's keep moving. All right, on to the campaign. So just like the name sounds, the Integrated Lighting Campaign focuses on recognizing integrated lighting, which means that the lighting system can communicate with other building systems to enhance building performance. However, that's not all the campaign is interested in. There are still luminaires, luminaire control systems that we're hoping to capture as well. Advanced systems and controls and lighting that improve lighting performance are definitely of interest, and we would love to hear how systems are going above and beyond the simple occupancy daylight scheduling approaches. So please, even though we are the integrated campaign, we still want to see any of those really innovative programs as well. But back to integrated lighting. So today's lighting can communicate with other building systems to achieve deeper whole building energy savings. For example, by exchanging information with the HVAC systems or a controllable plug load. While the integrated system's energy benefits can often result in a good ROI, it's the non-energy benefits that may tap into a higher value proposition and really further tip the scale in favor of adoption of these systems. An example of a non-energy benefit is space utilization analyses that leverage the occupancy sensors that are located in the lighting fixtures or that operate the lighting fixtures. And that gives information for optimizing space layouts. For example, a retail location might use it to better organize their store and put the good products where people travel. This is just what Walgreens did, who was one of our 2021 recognized participants. Or, as you'll hear in a few slides, Massport used their lighting fixtures to make Wi-Fi access points, building their IoT network. So really through the ILC, we really hope to learn about and recognize some of these really innovative lighting projects, as well as supporters. So I've been talking about a few different groups of folks here. So let's cover a little bit of terminology so we're all clear. You already heard from organizers and their role in the ILC. Again, they provide the campaign with direction and support. Supporters are organizations that deliver some value to a building owner or end user, whether it be products or services, electricity, incentives, or something else. So supporters could be energy efficiency organizations, manufacturers, utilities, or others. As supporters of the ILC, they play a key role in the success by helping to promote the ILC and identify projects that might be a good fit for recognition. And finally, participants are the ILCs, are the actual adopters of the technology. So we're talking about building owners, facility managers, anyone overseeing the use of the technology in a building. Please. Okay, on this slide, a little messy here, but it's really only a partial collection of our campaign supporters and participants, something we're quite proud of. Some of those on the supporter side may be organizations you do business with, perhaps a competitor of your business. On the participant side, you see organizations that might have purchased your products or services, taken part in a research effort you conducted, or received incentives from you, or having adopted energy savings technologies. Again, this is just a partial list. A full list of supporters and participants is available on our website. We hope to add some of you onto this list for our next webinar. Slide. Okay, that was a lot of talking from me and the organizers. I won't take all the credit, but I do want to get to know you all for a minute. So let's take a moment so we get a better understanding of those of you participating on the webinar. So looking at this list, which of these options best describe you or the organization you represent? The poll popped up for me, so I imagine it is for you. Hopefully you're seeing it now. I'll give you a minute or so to answer the question while I take a sip of water. Hopefully the responses are rolling in. Glancing over at the attendee list, and I see someone has their hand raised. If you don't mind, enter your question into the Q&A pane and we can get to you. And otherwise, hang on to your question. We will be unmuting everyone at the end and you can speak up there. So thank you for that. All right, I am seeing results from the polls. Awesome, thank you so much for voting. Looking like mostly distributor manufacturer solution providers, but a good spread of others too. So this is great. Very good. Okay, I'm gonna close this. Well, thank you. You closed that. All right, let's keep going. Next slide, please. So I want to tell you a bit about last year's recognized participants and supporters. Starting with participants, we recognized 13 organizations, and you can see their logos here, ranging from higher education to retail to healthcare facilities and government buildings. 4 of the organizations were recognized for advanced controls and sensors, 6 for integration with HVAC, another 2 for integration with plug loads, and 3 for integrations with other building systems. So in a minute, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into a few of these, but I also wanted to just give you an overview of the 2021 recognized supporters. Next slide. I said supporters on the last slide. I think I was getting ahead of myself. Those are recognized participants. These are recognized supporters. We recognized 7 supporters last year, shown on this slide. They include utilities, nonprofits, and energy efficiency organizations. We have some aggregate stats from our supporters, including 145,000 luminaires incentivized at over 300 projects, totaling almost $14 million in incentives, as well as about 100 training courses and 100 tours given. So great. And this is, great examples of how supporters can contribute to the ILC. Again, like I mentioned, incentives, recruiting partners, giving out trainings and courses and tours. So thank you to our supporters last year. All right, next slide. So as I alluded to just a couple slides ago, I want to dive a little bit deeper just to give you an idea of some of the projects that we recognized in 2021. So the first that I want to talk about is Bryan Health, which is a project that comprised of 2 healthcare campuses in Lincoln, Nebraska, totaling 3 million square feet. So Bryan Health upgraded their interior lighting from fluorescent to LEDs with advanced controls, employing a comprehensive lighting management system equipped with occupancy sensors, task tuning, preset lighting scenes for the space type, and the ability to remotely control the lighting throughout the building. So not only did they get a serious boost in energy efficiency, some of the key aspects that Bryan Health reported to us, that the staff were happier with their control over the lighting. They were more comfortable in the space. They saw reduced support calls with shorter response times and better diagnostics to identify the problems with lighting before they reported. So again, this is kind of speaking to those energy savings, the reduced energy costs provide that ROI, but then there are these non-energy benefits, these kind of bonus benefits that come along with these advanced systems. So this is a great example of that. Next slide, please. So another case study that was just published covered 2 exterior lighting project upgrades, one at Massachusetts Port Authority, also known as Massport, and the city of Wilmington, Delaware. So Massport upgraded 23 of its HPS high mass luminaires to LED, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, they integrated Wi-Fi into those luminaires that allowed them to better control the lighting and really improve the operational efficiency of the port and all the kind of movings and goings-ons that happen at the port, as well as increase security. They could change the lighting levels centrally, and so saving energy at dull times, but also the ability to boost up that lighting in the event of an emergency or a security situation. So Massport saw 55% energy savings and a significant reduction in light pollution that really benefited the residents of South Boston that live near the port. So again, that was I think a great non-energy benefit that came with that project. Looking at the lower half of this slide, so Wilmington, the city of Wilmington upgraded 1,700 of its streetlights to LEDs with photocells and wireless control nodes that provided them with really an interactive dashboard for visualizing the light status of all these luminaires that were replaced. The city saw almost 70% in energy savings, as well as huge reductions in maintenance costs, so much so that they are selling one of their bucket trucks because it's just not needed to go around and replace those burned out lamps from the incumbent technology. So again, both of these projects had serious energy savings, as well as these really good non-energy benefits, the Wi-Fi integration, the reduction in light pollution, the streamlined maintenance at Wilmington really made these projects a success. So that's why they were recognized and had case studies published on them this year. Okay. Moving on, next slide, thank you. So on to more about becoming a supporter of the integrated lighting campaign. I've mentioned some of the things that you as a supporter can do to help the campaign. In the past, supporters have gone beyond just promoting the ILC, actively engaging with participants to help them submit their project for recognition, getting them on board. We can help with that process too, if you prefer. That is part of the technical assistance that we provide to participants. There certainly are benefits when it comes to being a supporter as well. We do provide an opportunity for visibility of your organization through our website, newsletters, and mentions in the case studies that are developed for recognizing participant projects, just like the ones we just looked at a couple slides ago. And given that the goal of the campaign is to increase adoption of energy saving systems, that means, it could mean increased sales, reduce energy use, savings that could be attributed to a certain utility energy efficiency program or some other value added outcome for your organization. We also do provide recognition for some supporter types for their efforts to help the adoption of technology in the interest to the ILC or helping the ILC's efforts. So lastly, a supporter logo is available to our registered supporters to demonstrate your support for the ILC and promote the ILC, for example, linking to our website. But you can see that little logo down at the bottom right. As a supporter, you get that and can put it on your collateral. Slide, please. Right. The ILC website also serves as a resource for things like reports, those case studies we looked at, other case studies from national research labs and third-party organizations, utility incentive lists that might help provide that financial support for those taking on advanced lighting projects. Webinars and trainings are listed on there, along with topic-relevant videos available to you view right on the site. So I encourage you, if you get a moment, to check out our site when you get a chance and explore some of the resources there. Oh, we're already here. Thank you. So as I've mentioned, the ILC wants to recognize innovative and advanced lighting projects. So here are the categories by which these projects are based. So 6 major categories, 2 of which are new this year. First up, there's the advanced use of sensors and controls for lighting, like connected lighting systems, networked lighting controls. There is integrated controls for plug loads and HVACs with the lighting system. And that's looking for projects where the lighting systems help inform those other buildings, kind of like I talked about a little bit ago. When it comes to integrating with other systems in lighting, there are many possibilities, like the lighting systems that interact with automatic shades or solar PV, security systems, much more. A lot of opportunity there. So as I mentioned, there are two new recognition categories for participants, which are integrated lighting and horticultural controls. So looking at the lighting that might be used in an indoor grow facility, whether it's a greenhouse or a sole source grow operation, and innovative maintenance, operation, and financing service models. That could include, again, innovative approaches to fund integrated lighting, such as lighting as a service, utility incentives in a kind of a special or unique way, or alternative financing options for those projects. Slide. So we also have recognition opportunities for supporters, and these are the categories in 2022. Supporters can be recognized for encouraging the use of advanced lighting controls and technologies that facilitate integration of lighting into the other building systems, as we talked about. This might be an innovative utility program. Maybe the supporter recruits one or more projects into the ILC, provides technical assistance, maybe does some of those trainings and tours that we talked a little bit about from the supporters from last year. Yeah. So the next one, and Cedar mentioned this, she hit it on it in her introduction to the Better Buildings Initiative, but new this year, we have a new category designed to recognize exemplary supporters that are diversity, equity, and inclusion champions that support energy justice, diversity, equity, inclusion, or DEI. They could demonstrate successful efforts to deploy advanced or integrated lighting solutions in underserved communities, or support projects in diverse communities, or that are doing business with minority-owned businesses, something like that. Ultimately, we want to really see projects that work with and represent disadvantaged communities and bring the benefits of advanced lighting to the people that need it most and can really get those benefits that maybe they otherwise wouldn't see. Slide, please. So this is the submission form. So if you know of a project or you know someone who might be interested in getting recognized by DOE, this is the form you or they would fill out. Really, it's the submitter should tell their story of how the projects came to be, how it fits into the recognition categories that I just reviewed, whether it's a participant or a supporter. And then you can provide some supporting data, such as the number of buildings impacted, any energy savings measured, incentives received, or other quantifiable information that supports the narrative. It's a really pretty simple and streamlined submission process. If your project moves forward in the process, we will work with you a little more closely to learn about the projects and get more information. Okay, next slide, please. Here is the timeline for this year. Submissions are now open. They open January 7th this year. We will accept them through the end of March. So if you are thinking of projects, get them in now. We'll continue to review them through the end of March. We will review all of those submissions that come in, and then we will inform those participants that are recognized of their selection by June 30th. Then we will announce the recognitions in August of this year. Last year, it was at the annual IES conference. I think we're still finding a venue for that, but we will definitely have that information to you soon. It may be the IES conference, it might be something else or both. So stay tuned for that. So moving on to the right-hand side of this slide, really what happens beyond recognition is where the campaign really seeks to add value, and that's by creating this body of knowledge from the recognized projects. Some basic information about each project and its benefits is shared during the recognition, but it's really those more in-depth case studies that are planned for development that deliver more information to those considering similar projects. So maybe there's a a small municipality like the city of Wilmington that wants to upgrade their exterior lighting, and they can look to that case study, or a healthcare campus like Bryan House. So they can take those case studies, borrow inspiration, get inspiration for those, and even reach out to some of those people that were involved. Also, newsletter articles are a great way we can communicate about those projects throughout the year too. So, okay, let's have another poll. Should be coming up. Oh, there it is. So are you aware of any projects aligned with a recognition category that may be eligible for the recognition by the ILC? Answers include, we have such a technology in our building. We have supported an installation. We know someone that knows someone. We can get you info. Or we are not aware of any such systems. Okay. Hopefully, if you answer any of the first three, you will be in touch with us and become a supporter and a partner of the ILC. Okay, I'll give you about 10 or 15 more seconds to answer this poll. There we go. Okay, pretty good spread here. A good amount of folks have supported installation. Some folks know someone that knows someone. And then some are not aware of any such systems. That's okay. Awesome. Thank you for answering. Right. Let's go on to the next slide. That was the end of my slides, so we can start some Q&A. Before opening up the ability to unmute the microphones, Sergi and Michael have been keeping track of any questions that have been submitted in the chat. I'm kind of looking around. I see some have been answered. Sergi or Michael, maybe you can let me know in the chat, or you can speak up if you'd like. Did anything come in that would be good to read out loud or answer to the group? And I'll keep an eye on chat. Give me a moment. Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, so most of the questions were processed about how what category you submit for, or use of a logo, and Sergi presented and responded to those. Someone did ask about lighting controls. Their question is dim or turn off electric lighting in response to available daylight to reduce peak electricity demand for lighting and related cooling loads. It was just from the text there available, it was unsure what exactly their question was, and we responded, yes, that's how daylight controls typically work, and we have a category that supports that type of thing. So that was just the largest question, but those were the extent. Axel.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, and if I had to take another guess, I would say maybe they were asking about eligibility, and you also answered that question. That is something that we are interested in. So if you have a project that includes daylighting controls, especially if it had some co-benefits of reducing the cooling load, especially when the solar heat gain comes in, the lights can dim and stop giving off so much heat. So yes, I would say that is of interest. I encourage you to submit that for recognition. Okay, so that covers the questions. So I want to open it up now, not only to questions, any suggestions, experiences, any other discussion that you'd like to have. We are here. We're happy to hear from you. So I'm reading that you now have the ability to. Oh, nope. Okay. Need to reread that question. If you have a question or something to say, please raise your hand. We will individually unmute you. So I see.
So there was a follow-up question related to which category supports daylighting controls. I'll let you take it away. I'm just reading them out for you.
Oh, I see it now. Okay. Which category supports daylighting controls? And it would be that first category of advanced lighting and controls. And so yes, daylighting wasn't specifically mentioned, but we do consider that an advanced control over, kind of basic wall control, or, something just like occupancy sensors. I think that technology has been around for a while. You're welcome to submit that one. But I think, good use of daylighting is, I would still say, an advanced lighting control that would fit into that first category.
Second question, how can a minority small business recently registered lighting efficiency organization get involved?
Yeah, go through our website, and there's a form you fill out to be a supporter. You can do that. That is free, and that will open up the website and resources for you. Then you can get in touch with us, and we can talk about any projects that you might have. And you could submit for recognition as a supporter this year as the Energy Justice, Diversity, and Equity and Inclusion Champion. So I think that is a great opportunity. So yes, go through our website. If that doesn't work for you, get in touch with us. My contact information will be at the end of the presentation here, and you can just shoot me an email.
Looks like, oh, they responded, thank you. That's
Okay.
Where we are at the moment on open questions.
Great, thank you. Okay, so back to anyone else, it's still open. So if you raise your hand, use the raise hand function, which you should see at the bottom of your Zoom screen. For me, it's second from the right, just left of record.
Oh,
go ahead and do that, or now I see another question come in, so you can continue to type your questions. I've got this one, Michael. We are building a map of projects using Lumen Cache. Are there ways to have projects reviewed without significant costs? DLC is a cost. Okay.
So I think there's two things there, Alex, so we might want to separate out. One, our program, the Integrated Lighting Campaign, is free and it's publicly supported. So there is no cost to participate in our side of it. And that probably we should defer to them. The DLC, unfortunately, representative had to leave for another engagement, but they can probably address any membership or pricing for their organization directly.
Yes, for sure. And if you have trouble getting a hold of DLC, reach out to me. I can definitely put you in touch with someone over there, and we'd be happy to connect you. I hope that answered your question, Derek.
As well as I hope to learn a little more about Lumen Cache. I like good maps of projects. So
yeah.
At the moment, I think most of our questions have been addressed. I'm just checking for you real fast for you.
Okay, thank you. Well, let's keep this open. I think we have one more poll, and then we can show my contact information. So yeah, let's go ahead with this poll, and the poll is open. Also, questions are still open. So this one is about how we can provide resources and encourage others to participate. What is most useful to you? Would it be if we were to create some resources like a one-page overview, slide on ILC, a two-page summary document that's a little more detailed and technology focused, maybe a brief video, a webinar, maybe the campaign link is enough, or other. If you answer other and you have an idea that's not listed here, I encourage you enter it in the question and answer pane, or raise your hand and speak up. Happy to hear from you. Give this one 10 or 15 seconds. Okay. Hopefully everybody had a chance to answer that. Nice, good answers. 1-page overview. Most of you said a 2-page summary document that's technology focused or a brief video. Awesome. Thank you for your input. Hey, I got a response over the question and answer. Thank you. A and C will work. Great. We will add that. Okay, let's go one more slide. Oh, one more. I just want to show my contact information. I think these addresses are also up there. Okay, there's my contact information. Please get in touch if you want to talk to me about anything. I don't want to rush you out of here. We have about 10 minutes left, but if there are no other questions, I'm happy to end a little bit early, but I'll give it a minute here. If anyone has a question that they're kind of stewing on.
There were a few, Axel, who couldn't do the survey for some reason, and they've been putting questions or their responses in the question and answer pane. So if that's someone else, please continue to do it, and thank you.
Yes, agreed. And we will capture that as well. Connie, I see your hand raised. You had also put in the chat about your poll responses. Did you have anything you want to speak up about, or was it just the poll response? You should be able to unmute yourself if you'd like. You see another question. Is there a handout offered to access the links? I was late to the presentation. Yes, we will send these slides out. There are a bunch of links embedded in here. I think they should work. And if not, feel free to email me, but we should be able to have those links work for you. So yes, thank you, Douglas. Slides will come out. Okay, I'm not seeing any more come in. Happy to give a little time back here. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for your attention. Yeah, I saw one more. It's hard to get the utility to understand the benefits of lighting systems. I agree. Utilities, while I've worked with utilities a ton, and I am not knocking them at all, there are kind of strict cost effectiveness measures. They are mostly interested in energy savings. I assure you that some of them, and many of them in the future, will be working on alternative ways to quantify those non-energy benefits. In fact, that's something that we are working on as well. And that is going to be really key to making that cost effectiveness, making that ROI look a little bit better when not just focused on saved kilowatt hours. So good comment, thank you. Okay. Are there any programs focused on residential benefits as well as commercial? Yes, I think there are. Michael, can you help me out with that one? Do you know of any residential programs, maybe like the campaigns?
I know of residential programs, yes, different than the campaign. Our focus tends to be commercial buildings, yes. And we, even within the Department of Energy, the residential side does not have a lighting program, doesn't have a lighting campaign focus on the residential side. There are non-ones, I'm thinking of the American Lighting Association. So we can follow up, Derek, with your question. I think that's actually, or maybe, yeah, we'll follow up directly with you and leave some point of contact and some references. Lighting for residential is a much smaller energy usage than compared to commercial. So it's It just has different aspects to it.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. It seems like each time I start this statement, when I say there's no more questions, one more comes in. So I'm going to say it one more time. I don't see any questions, but I'm happy to answer any more that come in. So, but also, if we end this webinar and you still had a question, take my email address down there and shoot me an email. Okay, with that, I'm going to end it 5 minutes early. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for considering, and for those of you that are supporters, let us know if you have any other questions. Have a good rest of your day.